Okay, Otaku Midnight Style. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to NTR Radio. I'm Tom Enforcer Anubis.
I'm K-Gods.
And I'm the anti-SJW VZ Mark II.
I think we're all the anti-SJW here.
Yeah, I don't think you can proclaim that yourself.
Anyway, what's been going on?
Well, I'm currently about to be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll hurl on the air. That might be interesting.
That'd be interesting radio. That'd be like the time I shot myself with an airsoft gun that no one heard because it didn't record.
Yeah, I'll help you fast. I'll help you fast speed it up by telling you Chris Chan stuff.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm serious, man. I have like the flu or something.
I was napping all afternoon today.
It's one of those things where it's like, okay, I got a show to do, and it's like, oh hey, I'm feeling rather bad, and it's like, but this will be good radio. You might hear me keeled over.
Always do what makes for the better story.
Very true. Okay, but someone else want to go first?
Yeah. I just got done watching the Yuri OVA.
Nice, how was it?
It was pretty good. First off, I thought I was expecting like some dinky 20-minute thing. No, it was a full hour.
There we go.
And
Yeah.
I mean, it's mainly for if you already seen the show, you would already find it funny. But one thing I would say is because it was a studio change. It's the same exact character designs, and it fairly looks exactly the same, but the color palette, like their hair, is a little bit more muted. I actually like it like that now. Looks pretty good.
Aha. I watched a couple things.
And yeah, of course, the stuff that I'm currently watching. So yeah, what else, Steve?
I watched okay, I'm having a total brain fart of the name of it right now. It's Sora wo Otoshimono.
Sora wo Otoshimono.
Thank you.
Heaven's Lost Property.
Yeah, that's kind of the domestic name we've got going on. But yeah, I actually ended up finishing watching that. I'd only seen parts of it.
Oh, how is that? I've never seen it, but I've heard.
I still have to finish it.
It's pretty fun, especially if you were watching it in decent quality, as I was. And I watched the first season of that, and it's OVA, kind of accompaniment. And I enjoyed it for what it was. It's nice looking. It's got like some really ridiculous humor in some spots. I guess it's kind of a spoiler, but put it this way: there are panties migrating at one point.
Oh yeah. I know about it that it has flying panties in it.
It's very very amusing.
Yeah. Is the blonde girl with the really big tits in that season, or is she in...
No, that's later.
Okay.
And I'm also, since we were... Okay, this tying into our second segment, but since this one's going to be about JC Staff, I actually watched kind of a random newer title of theirs. And Hentai Oji to Warawanai Neka.
Yeah, the hentai and Stony Cat, right?
Cat. Yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I know of it.
The first two episodes, I think.
About 3/4 through it.
How was that one?
It's one of those shows that I probably wouldn't have honestly watched on my own. Again, it was kind of in the face of us doing this episode. I wanted to see something new of theirs. Newer, I guess.
I saw something on the Anime Network recently, but I can't remember. I watched an episode, and I'm like totally blanking on what I saw.
Well, that's JC Staff for you.
No, it wasn't a JC Staff thing. It was something Anime Network in general, and I can't. I think it might have been something that. Shit.
Can you describe any of it? I might know.
Man, that's the thing. I completely forgot. Like my brain just completely.
It must have not been that good then. I mean,
it's got these bright colors, man.
It was animated.
Yeah, it was very bouncy.
I looked at the screen and there were things moving.
You know, lines and shapes and stuff. It was like a geometry class that got out of control.
It was in color.
You know what I could do? I can
Technicolor.
look right now if it's still there, and I will remember it. But I
We don't have to ask questions anymore. We have the internet.
No, I could look on the TV. But I have to put it on mute. Okay. Let me see.
Well, while you're doing that, I watched for the past couple weeks. I watched all of Say I Love You.
Oh, okay.
Which is pretty good. It was a recommendation from a friend of mine.
Right.
You found it?
No, still looking.
Oh, it's a false alarm. But yeah, it's a shoujo series. It's I don't normally watch shoujo anime, but when I do, I usually really enjoy it.
Are you the most interesting man in the world? Is that what you're referencing here? I don't usually watch shoujo anime.
Well, that wasn't what I was referencing. That is true, but it wasn't what I was referencing. Other than that, though, I've been mostly watching some old stuff.
I can just see you sitting there in a rotating chair with your Zero helmet on, for a commercial like that too.
But in between that, I've been rewatching parts of Gundam Build Fighters because they're cool.
Oh, now I know.
Gundam Unicorn because they're cool. What's up?
Fruto Grisalia.
Grisaya no Kaijitsu?
Yeah, that's what I saw the first episode of.
Oh yeah, that's the one I watched 2 episodes of and then started playing the game.
That was okay. That was alright. I'm
enjoying the game. I don't know about the anime. I haven't watched any more of it.
Yeah. They got Shirobako on there. Maybe I should check that one because a lot of people say that one's really good.
Yeah, I've been meaning to check that one out.
A lot of
give
people.
That one a try.
Yeah. What is it? Idolmaster Cinderella Girls is continuing to be great. Even though this thing they're kind of getting the drama thing out early.
Well, good.
It would be amazing. I doubt it, but it would be amazing if the show was a full year.
Yeah.
Full year long show. That would be incredible.
It's 2014. That's not gonna happen. It's 2015. That's not gonna happen.
Well, it's definitely gonna be 2 core. That I can tell you right now. But
well, hey, Second Impact.
Yeah. Also,
a third one should be coming, right? It's 2015.
Oh yes. And also Kofuku Graffiti has been great too.
Hear that? Mark your calendars, people. We're going away. we're all going to merge into a big.
So we're all going to become crosses, basically.
Well, we're all going to coalesce into this massive
LCL
ball of
organic organism thingamajig.
No, I'm just gonna fap to my comatose friend, comatose compatriot.
See, that's what happens before we coalesce into the giant thing.
So when does the giant naked ray come?
Whenever her fingers are wet.
In about 45 minutes.
The giant.
That was a terrible joke.
Yeah. Cooking that show's pretty much gone. It's pretty much pornographic at this point, more or less. It's Shaft, but it's the shots that it does really need to be in regular hentai. The slow motion and the detail their lips.
I'm honestly surprised, given the nature of some of the stuff that Shaft does, that they haven't made some kind of faux blaxploitation anime. I'm serious. Think about that for a minute.
Shaft by Shaft.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard but I don't know what, and he might have been using a pseudonym. But I hear, I've heard Shinbo has directed hentai before.
Yeah, I've heard something along those lines as well. I don't know what specifically, but
if that must be incredible. Like I don't know.
I'm getting like some kind of bad, like Demon Beast Invasion vibe or something from that, because I can just see it being like gory and all messed up and just something not very pleasant.
I also watched my Blu-ray of Yu Shiki.
There we go.
Yeah, and I still
finish that too.
I still have my Blu-ray of A channel to watch.
Right.
And even Contact Collection's been good.
I still need to catch up on that.
Yeah.
I haven't watched anything from this season past like what I watched at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm a little annoyed that the next episode of Cinderella Girls is a recap.
Yeah, I heard some people bitching about that.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, they need that extra time to animate Kaneko's fat jiggling.
I was gonna say they're in personal like clandestine talks with Ken Miura.
I just hope, like I said, I'm hoping for the better, and the most fantastic news would be if it was a full year long.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Because there's just so many in the show, like. I mean, because this one's being a little different than the original. The original was more like giving everyone the chance to get to know. This one's being mostly about the three girls and then everyone else.
We have a comment here. I forget under what name, but Shinbo doing Arrow is legit.
Yes, it is.
That's from Cube the Third.
Cube the Third. I was going to mention it,
but I did.
Yeah. In other news, in a bit of news. Okay, so I saw a pic on 4chan of this glasses wearing really busty girl in a t-shirt, and I'm like, okay, I have to find out what this light novel thing is, and I find out it's from a thing called, Anubis, prepare yourself. Shimoneta to Igainan ga Sozai Shinai Taikutsu na Sekai, which translates as a boring world where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist. Abbreviated to Shimose. And I'm like, okay, and apparently it's going to be animated by DC staff.
Of course it is.
Show for July.
I can totally see Anubis as you were reading it, his teeth like just grinding as you were reading that.
Stop with these long ass titles. There's no reason for it.
It's like it's not funny anymore.
I know they think it's funny. It's not. It never was.
And the cover for the first volume has a girl with panties on her head.
There we go.
Because that's the equivalent in Japan of the mannequin, right? That's in like the mall.
Oh, so when you buy so when you go to a mall in Japan and you see a mannequin, it has the panties on the head.
Yeah, exactly. It and just some Shimapan or something like that, you know.
It's modeling the panties.
Yeah, on the head for some reason.
Now the question is, do they have regular heads or do they have anime heads?
I don't know. I was gonna say, of course it's regular, but have you seen some of those toilets in the bathroom? Like some of those like urinals where the guys are like peeing in their mouth and things like that.
What?
You haven't seen those?
Haven't seen those?
That's funny. You've said the same thing. Yeah, it always. I don't know if it's just me, but anytime there's a guy getting their picture taken, it almost looks like they were drunk or something. Like just like, oh, I gotta pee in this thing.
In any case, we're up on the break for the first segment. Keep it right here on NTR Radio. that button, that one.
Okay, I will be right back.
Solid copy.
I'm gonna end up having to take like Theraflu or some shit.
Ew.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that. I know why. Like, it's one of those things where I know where I got it from. and don't say a hooker or something. Ha ha.
Well, no. Well, then we call that syphilis.
Ooh. Yeah, so at the end of the show, if I start babbling incoherently, if I haven't already, and I'm still laughing at the fact that "Don't Date SJWs" is actually a hashtag.
That's absolutely hilarious.
And the level of salt in response to it has been just screamingly funny.
Current chief export from San Francisco. Salt.
Salt.
Salt Fest 2015. Just when you thought you had enough salt.
We added some more. We heard you like
Saltier than
salt.
Wendy's fries.
We heard you like salt. So we added some salt to your salt.
Oh, hey there. Which one?
This is pretty funny. I don't know why everyone's saying hashtag don't date SJWs. It's not like they're horribly unbalanced people, right? And then it has a picture of someone telling them to set themselves on fire in response. Sometimes you just gotta play Sonic.
Sometimes you just gotta play Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Casino Night 2 player mix.
See, that's what needs to happen when we take our trip to Vegas.
Yeah.
The NTR goes to Vegas.
NTR Radio taking the NTR Radio private jet to Las Vegas.
and then we
track all the way through.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, and then you would hear us, that horrible noise when you get the 3 Robotniks, or Eggmans for some people, if you want to get all.
No NTR to like Akihabara or something.
Well, of course we'll find Akihabara.
Bring on the Dojins!
Trapped in customs.
Just the 3 of us like burst into like Mandarake, like, and like when the guy in the Western steps in and everybody like looks up and so people hide. It's like,
the saloon doors swing open and everyone's just like,
and you fucking hear like the snake rattle.
Yes.
And like somebody's like going crazy.
Quiet. Tumbleweed bounces by inside the saloon.
So, bring on the black. Bring on your words.
All your K-On! Dojins.
Yeah, and then of course you would be flashing the yen.
You just take a whole bunch of a wad of yen bills out of your codes, like, I want all your K-On! Dojins.
Yeah, but when you do it, you gotta have like a trench coat on.
Yeah.
And you gotta open it like somebody's pulling out like a Tommy gun or something.
Yeah, it's like this.
Oh, we gotta all be in there carrying briefcases with shades. What's in the briefcases doesn't matter. We just need briefcases.
Should we be wearing top hats?
No, the big, not the cowboy hat that's like this, but the one that's more.
I refuse to wear that.
Yeah,
no. So that way I said it's like it'll be like the Western. So it's wait. Apparently, since we're loser otaku, we gotta be wearing fedoras.
Fedoras.
Right? With little
but you know what? We're gonna go ham. Proper fedoras. Indiana Jones fedoras.
Oh, not the little tribby.
Not the trilbies.
No.
Which is a fine hat, but it's not a proper fedora. Technically, not.
The Technicolor fedora that's like in bright
Ew.
blue.
Ew, those are disgusting.
Yeah, the Roy G. Biv.
Yeah.
Black, gray, brown, maybe white. That's it.
That or I could see them making a market out of like plastering Anamu characters across them as well.
For some reason, that's also disgusting to me.
Yeah. It would just piss people off.
Oh, I saw someone was like put like just famous memes on them, and it's like
Ew.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, like
streams.
Yeah, it's like the level of like try hard basically.
And then I took an arrow to the knee or no.
Start on the second segment before we kill ourselves. Okay. Ready on second segment. Everyone ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back to NTR Radio.
And this is my idea. We've been hinting at it for some time, but I think it's pretty much time that we talk about JC Staff.
Yeah, I mean,
like this is like an intervention.
Did you say an intervention?
Yeah, I feel like it's time we talked about JC Staff.
So,
intervention. Well, we actually do mention them a lot, or we have throughout our existence, usually kind of in passing.
Yes.
I will say, like, if you've been watching anime for any number of years, you've bound to watch something from them. Because
for sure.
They've done a lot. Even if you haven't watched all the same things, if you watch like different things, you've seen something from them because they've just done so much. They're probably the most in terms of like the amount of shows that they make compared to other studios. They're probably the most prolific. The whole adage of quantity over quality.
I actually will agree with that.
To a certain extent, they've made some really good stuff.
Well, we'll get to that.
For the most part, they like cover the entirety of the bell curve. They've got some really bad stuff.
Oh, they got
really
some
good stuff. And then
most of their stuff is just in the middle, and that's generally when I think of their output is just okay. It's like a show from 2009 that I watched once, and I was like, oh, okay, this is okay for the one time. Taisho Baseball Girls.
Right, and that's kind of what I was going to say. Basically, some of it is kind of put into a almost a rental compartment.
Yeah. One of the earliest things I saw from them, but I didn't know it was them, was probably, and you've definitely seen this, K-Gods, is Voltage Fighter Go Kaiser.
Yes. I barely remember it other than the shower scene, and at the end of it I was scratching my head going, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, they made a lot of OVAs. I've seen Galaxy Frontline Yuna.
Yeah, to tie that back to an earlier episode, yes.
Yeah. Yoto Den was their first thing, which was
and I've seen that. I have seen that. That is basically their attempt to do like a Ninja Scroll type show.
Yes, it's in fact I thought it was because it got released here in a compiled movie called Wrath of the Ninja.
Yes, it did. With kind of a, I don't know. I saw it dubbed again. Sorry. It was something
actually it came out before. It came out before Ninja Scroll.
Yeah, but it is in that style.
Yes.
And it was marketed that way too.
Yeah. Oh yikes! They did Garzy's Wing.
Yeah.
They did Garzy's Wing.
Now we're really bringing it back.
Wow. And they did your guys' favorite, Aiken.
Like that almost invalidates a lot of good things they did.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about. Okay, so the first, again, but in fact, the one show pretty much got me back into what I would call modern. Well, it's not modern anymore, but meaning anime that is currently coming out at the time that it was, and that is Azumanga Daioh.
Yeah, and that's one of their really good shows.
And it's one of those.
Yeah, that's one of their best.
Yeah, and it's one of those which I own, by the way. It's one of those. That's one of those shows that I do tend to think of when I think of them. Their better stuff.
Well, it's also that I've come to realize they're really good at comedy. They're just straight up comedy.
I've noticed that as well.
They could be really when they want to. They could be really funny because they made some great comedies. Post of Mayo comes to mind. The first 2 seasons and only the first 2 seasons of Milky Holmes.
You're like me with Zoids.
Only the first 2 seasons.
Zoid seasons are the only ones that exist.
Hatsukoi Limited, which is kind of like
almost fantastic.
Yeah, which is like both, which is also like fan service and comedy.
Let's see here, Slayers and all that stuff.
See, now I gotta be honest. I never really got into Slayers because I never really seen much of it. I think I might have seen an episode of one of the newer ones, like Evolution.
It's one of those shows where if you're more into RPGs and Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, you probably pick it up on more.
I know it was fairly popular when when Central Park Media was releasing it.
Yes, and
it had a good dub at the time.
Right, it had what's her name, Lisa Ortiz.
Yeah,
did Lena Inverse's voice. That was real popular. I remember.
Mm.
And of course, some people who've seen Ikitosen, would probably mention that. And I actually have seen the first thing of that.
And one of their best comedies, one of their best shows, not just in general, one of the best anime comedies I've ever seen is Joshiraku.
Right.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
I think you need to see that K-God sometime.
Yeah, I do.
It's so good.
It's really funny. It's very it never was even picked up by Crunchyroll. It's very, very Japanese. But it's also
dangerously
Japanese.
Yes, it is dangerous Japanese.
It's like Chester Cheetah. It's dangerously Japanese.
What a dumb statement. Dangerously Japanese.
It's like, okay, maybe a few of the jokes that when they were translating, they had to rewrite slightly by the fan sub because it's just so. But really, it's not that hard to understand what's going on in tandem with what they're saying.
Right.
I mean, and man, I love like they do everything from pointing out about what's that former governor Ishihara, that's it. Like him, or just really hilarious, or I wonder what it was like going back in bubble. I wonder what it was like in the bubble economy. Oh, let's go back in time in this washing machine.
Just saying that out loud seems really funny sounding.
But okay, with that's the stuff I like from them. I never seen Toradora though. I know a lot of people really like
neither. I can't get I can't get past the first 5 seconds of the opening because then I repeat that over and over for 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, great. That's something I will say about a majority of JC Staff stuff is they do really great openings and endings. Case in point. No, I was gonna say case. No, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I actually have that on in the box set.
Oh, Toradora, yeah.
Yeah, the special kind of big box that has the art books and.
Yeah. I will say see. I couldn't get past the first episode of Kill Me Baby because it was just atrociously animated.
I didn't bother with it.
But I love the ending theme. That is a catchy ass ending theme. Same thing. Where I think they falter is when they try to do the serious world building, usually based on light novel stuff.
Right. Well, I was gonna say that some of their older stuff they were pretty good at it. Like, I mean, they did the shoujo thing pretty good. With Revolutionary Girl Utena.
Yep, I saw the movie for that. I've only seen the movie for that.
I'm so sorry.
It's a bad call.
Yeah. Well, I told you that was in art school, and Oh, here's a great.
In between yelling at you about how bad the Iraq War was, they were showing you the movie, Utena movie.
Utena movie with no context.
I saw this last year, even though it came out in 2007. It was a decent little show. Not Kimmy Kiss.
Heard of it, have not seen it.
Same. It's from the same, it's the spiritual predecessor of Amagami and Photokano.
Oh, okay.
So it's not very well animated, but it has really good character designs. My personal favorite of those three is Photokano. I know some people, but of those three, Photokano was my favorite.
Photokano.
Yeah, Photokano was great. Then
learn something about photography.
Yeah, finish also Amagami, and then go into Kimmy Kiss.
Right. Well, since we're mentioning some of these shows, we've more than in passing mentioned Sky Girls before.
Yeah, see that show encompasses my main problem with JC Staff is it just in general in comparison like if another studio took the same show, same premise, and pretty much as I said, Sky Girls and Strike Witches are pretty much the same show in on paper. But it's just the directing was just boring in Sky Girls. It's just the fighting was just not. Even the fan service wasn't really all that good. I thought the OVA was decent and episode 6, and that's about it. It just wasn't really. I couldn't get past halfway mark though, and it was a 2-course show, and it didn't need to be a 2-course show. Yeah.
If I were to pick a title that basically holds what you said, some of the aspects about the studio that kind of bug me.
Yeah.
It would be probably something like Mabaraho.
Oh yeah. Nobis told me that was lousy. Yeah.
It's competent in terms of visuals.
Yeah, it's got nice visuals, but
it really is just kind of a lot of nothing.
Yeah, I remember watching 5 episodes of that and then kind of petering out on it because it was what's really going on about this? I only liked 2 characters. The story wasn't really holding me to any certain extent. I mean, it's just boring.
Now, despite it being their most successful thing that they've worked on, I can't get into. I tried. I've seen bits and pieces, but I can't get into the index railgun thing.
I haven't even tried. There's basically nothing about that interests me.
It has elements. See, that's the thing that irks me. It has elements of things that I like, but it's first off, it's part of that the light novel stuff, or just stuff in general that tries to take a really silly thing, but treats it really serious. And of course, especially if you listen to the show that's in every opening of this podcast, where I'm saying, I'm not going to watch a show about nuns stabbing their ears with dipping pens, because and that scene, and I've seen you see that on YouTube, the scene. If it was meant to be you're not supposed to take this seriously. We're just if it was a gag show, but no, that is treated like serious drama.
Does anybody remember Karin?
I heard about it.
That's the vampire one.
Yeah, wasn't there?
Yeah, that's the vampire one.
Because there was lots of jokes about the bleeding vaginas and stuff. I remember when
I haven't seen it, but I know
I don't remember any of that.
I know of it.
Yeah, I read about it in
People.
New Type USA. New Type USA is where I read about Karin first.
While you were in the dentist office?
I have not seen this, but it was featured in the thing with Danny Chu when he toured JC Staff. Was it
Twin Angel?
Yeah, Twin Angel.
Right. Okay. I see. I can never hear that name and not think of the era anime.
Yes, I know.
Because the only thing I can think of is like the tentacles and the twin angle.
Now, obviously. I haven't seen it, but who has seen Aria the Scarlet Ammo?
I have.
I tried to get into that. It just didn't grab me.
The concept was kind of cool. I wish it would have been more like Gunslinger Girl and less like what it was. Which is to say, I wish it would have been better and not bad like it was.
Other shows that are kind of worth talking about are Shakugan no Shana. That was a really big show. A lot of people really like that.
I saw a tiny bit. I don't know. It's that action-y light novel type of stuff that I can't get into.
Well, to a certain extent, it's not even like the like taking something silly seriously thing to me.
Yeah.
Because like Girls and Panzer is that. Oh, we're gonna have high school girls driving tanks around.
Yeah, but that has.
We're gonna take that seriously throughout the entire thing.
That has a sort of wink.
That's cool. That's good.
That has a wink, nudge that you're not supposed to take it seriously, even if it's.
I don't think it does. I think that's something you can actually take seriously in context. Like diegetically, it works. Within the context of the show.
Oh, it works. It works.
Fine, and it works, and it's taken seriously. It's not the sort of thing like you watch it and it's like, oh, okay, this is silly, and I don't have to take it seriously, so I like it. It's actually something that's.
See, I see it differently. I see it as even if the show is taking something seriously, I still see it as something that it's not meant to be taken seriously. Whereas some of these things really try to think that there's. Their world building is like this is the most epic of world building storytelling.
Well, I think it's less that that's the problem, more the execution period.
Possibly.
Because Girls and Panzer's world building is stronger than it lets on, but it does take itself seriously. But it's still like you can still watch it and not. It's not jarring to have all this silly stuff happening, and you're supposed to take it seriously.
Right, like when it pans out and you go, "Oh, this whole thing takes place on a carrier."
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, "Oh, ha ha, that's hilarious,"
Oh, ha ha ha, and then you see that all the other schools are also carriers, and all the other schools they're all driving tanks, and they're all doing their thing, and it's the same, and it's consistent. Within the story, it's consistent.
Well, what is it that makes that
within the story?
Okay,
but
what is it that makes that work? But a show that has a little girl, a little girl nun, and an adult teacher that looks like an 8-year-old, and plus nuns stabbing their ears with pens. That like what is it that doesn't make that work, even if it's trying to present its world building as serious?
Well, here's the thing: for a lot of people, I guess it does work because it's fairly popular.
Well, yeah, to a certain extent. I mean.
Yeah, but do they see it as wink, wink, nudge? You're not supposed to, or do they really think it's like epic storytelling?
I don't think you. I don't know. Just from what little I've seen of it, I would find it very hard to take seriously.
Well, okay. Here are two shows that I've actually seen, and
because there's also like a fetus in a big container jar thing in that show, based on the opening I've seen, and
yeah, okay.
There's all these like different. I think the Pope is as a character in that show too.
But okay, so. Two shows I've actually seen, Girls and Panzer and Aria the Scarlet Ammo. Both are world-building shows that have They're set in this world. They have their backstory. They have the way the world works and all that. Girls in Panzer works because it doesn't really do any kind of wink wink nudge nudge stuff, and it's in itself just okay. Here's the premise. Let's go. And I feel like Arya the Scarlet Ammo comes in and it introduces all this stuff, and then it introduces more stuff on top of that, and you're supposed to take that like, okay, well, this was a thing all along, where I feel like Girls in Panzer just establishes itself and lets its own world speak for itself.
Also, Girls in Panzer I don't think was based on anything previous.
No, that was the Media Mix project, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So that's also something that but that's probably a different topic.
To a certain extent. I mean, it's like, and I feel like it's just JC Staff's execution that makes this kind of stuff not work.
Now, see, the other problem.
If we just take two light novel series, I think, Horizon on the Middle of Nowhere.
Yeah, that's another one.
It works like Girls in Panzer works, where you can take that world seriously, even though there's all this silly stuff happening. You can still take it seriously because it allows its own world to speak for itself.
Now, another issue I have that I've talked about JC Staff is which is the opposite of what KyoAni does, where KyoAni, as an example, knows when a franchise is done. They say, okay, this thing, let's just end it here, because otherwise it's going to get stale if it goes on and continues. And even if its source material is continuing on, let's just end it at this point, and not go further, because otherwise. But JC Staff just keeps on going with some of their stuff.
Milky Holmes.
Yeah. Great first two seasons. It could have been good continuously, but they forgot. The problem is, I wouldn't have a problem with it continuing. They forgot what made the first two seasons work.
To a certain extent, though, for that comparison, KyoAni has enough money to make their own decisions.
True. But but back to Milky Holmes. See, the thing that that made that show work is it sets up. It's supposed to be, it's like a magical girl show with a detective theme. That's what you think it's going into. Or you think that they're going to be being detective stuff.
Detectiving?
Yeah, crime solving or whatever. It's not that, really. It's just, because they, in the first episode, they lose their powers, and everybody hates them, and they're all stupid, and they don't realize that the bad guys that they're trying to look for are right in front of them.
So it's Scooby-Doo. When there's it starts playing the music and they're going from hallway to hallway through doors.
Yeah. There's that. But it's also it's also again the first two seasons. It's a show that you could tell that the animators were having a lot of fun doing, because it's just all crazy shit that just pops out of nowhere, and I feel like it was thought up on the fly. Go-Go 13's just gonna show up in this episode. Just Go-Go 13 on the train, and it's really creatively wacky stuff that. But then they just nope, we're gonna just make it into the thing that it kind of was originally a parody of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's now it's become the thing that it was originally a parody of.
Right. Speaking of things that went on for a while, but I actually like this franchise, Zero no Tsukaima.
I haven't seen it, but I hear that one is pretty good, kind of.
I still haven't finished the first one.
if you don't like tsunderes, you probably won't like this show.
Yeah, I hear she's pretty the most tsundere of all tsunderes.
If you're not a fan of bitch tsunderes, you should probably stay away from Zero no
because she beats him with a horsewhip.
Well, hey, I like
which I like, but not everyone might.
I do like Seishiro Sugumi from Nisekoi, so.
Well, yeah. Fuck. So done with that show.
But we also had, since we're talking about this stuff, there's you mentioned Taisho Baseball Girls earlier.
Yeah.
And of course Hayate the Combat Butler.
Yep.
Yeah, but not the first season, the second season.
Right.
They didn't do the first.
Right, I understand that, but they did work on the show.
Yeah. I haven't seen this, but I think it was from the same person that did Toradora, Golden Time.
If I'm recalling correctly, and I'm not saying I am, so if somebody wants to correct me on this, isn't that the one about the relationship?
It's supposed to be like in college.
What kind of question is that? Isn't that the anime about the relationships?
No. I mean like
Limited?
I mean like the adult ones, the ones that are supposed to be serious.
Yeah. They're supposed to be in college.
Omagami SS? That show about the relationships.
Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna blame it on the fever.
Yasuga no Sora?
Hey, that's a special kind of relationship. That's the kind of relationship that involves grinding and grunting.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm actually
and smacking asses.
I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt for that Shimoneta thing, just because I saw that cover. That
I don't blame you. That cover makes me want to watch anything that comes out of this light novel.
Yeah. I saw a couple of episodes, but I couldn't get into it. Pet Girl Sakuraso.
I still need to finish that one.
I remember wanting to kind of watch it just because it was aggravating people, and
which it wasn't. Well, only based on the premise. It didn't actually turn out to be that. And watching it, I was
same thing with Astarate's Toy.
Yeah, it really was. It was something that was marketed a certain way, and people.
No, but that show still pissed people off. Astarate's Toy.
Yeah, of course.
But it was
because they didn't fucking watch it. And if they did watch it, they watched it with this preconceived notion of it, A, either being about a little girl giving blowjobs, or B, just they don't like lolly in general, so they're gonna hate it.
That's it. They don't like lolly in general.
See, it wasn't. Yeah, but you could argue Kodomo no Jikan has that quality too. I mean,
well, yeah, but they
obviously
are still mad about Kodomo no Jikan, primarily because they got the release stopped, so they won that battle.
Yeah. I was watching it. I was like, you know what? This is pretty similar to Denpa Onna. I'd rather just rewatch Denpa Onna Seishun Otoko.
And like I said, right now I'm kind of mostly through Hentai Prince and Stony Cat.
I still need to catch up on that one.
It's one of those shows that's nice looking and everything. It's
Kantoku character designs. I'm on board.
Yeah, so it is really nice looking, and some of the characters are genuinely. I like the designs and the thingy they do with the eyes and stuff.
Oh, this is one that I saw that I actually reviewed for Otaku CDX. Okami-san and her 7 companions.
I think we watched that one in my anime club too.
Yeah, that show I kind of liked. It wasn't like a great, but it was a cute little thing. I might rewatch it someday. And I liked, again, it's like all the characters are based on various fairy tales, but they're not like retelling the fairy tales. It's just this character's like meant to be this, and this one's like Red Riding Hood and.
See, I was gonna make a joke since you said that about the 7 dwarves.
Yeah.
Snow White and the 7 Dwarves.
Yeah. Rei Kugamiya plays a rabbit. So she's supposed to be not a rabbit, a girl that's supposed to be based on the hair and the tortoise is the girl that's supposed to be based on the tortoise is Akito Isaki.
So, wow. I can only imagine how that would turn out.
Even though there weren't the main, so there weren't a lot of them, but she does do in the last episode it wasn't like I wanted to help you or anything, even though she was
naturally.
Well, this year that they put out something that's being called "Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon?"
Yeah, that I haven't seen that, but that's a funny name for.
Oh yeah, it's and yes, it is, because that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
If you think picking up people at a bar is a bad idea,
well, okay, it depends on what kind of dungeon. Let's be real.
Well, yeah,
if you're into that, and you go to the dungeon, that's what you're gonna find in the dungeon.
Yeah, you might engage in some kinky shenanigans, or you might be stabbed with a rusty knife or something.
Yeah, that's the risk you take.
Yeah, exactly.
Yaoi comedy, Love Stage.
Right. Wasn't that technically from last year?
Yeah, last year.
Okay, yeah. Also, since we're talking about some of these old... excuse me. We didn't mention Little Busters, did we?
No, I haven't seen. Because I haven't seen Little.
Yeah,
I've played more of the game than I've seen the anime. Actually.
But a lot of people were when the announced that it was JC Staff over.
Yeah, they got mad. I remember that.
People were pissed.
Yeah, because they were probably expecting,
They were expecting Kiyoani
to do just like the other key stuff.
Yep.
Right.
Though as far as I understand, the people I know who have seen it enjoyed it. And what little I've seen of it, I have enjoyed.
You said Anubis. You saw the Best Student Council?
I saw an episode of the Best Student Council from one of the demo DVDs.
Oh, yeah.
Out of a New Type USA magazine.
I just remember that was one of those things that ADV was re-releasing over and over and over again during, their run.
Yeah.
Again.
That I don't remember very much of it. I remember being kind of halfway about the character designs. They were good. I can't say that they were deficient in any way, but they didn't really appeal to me in the same way that something that I look at and say, oh damn, okay, I'm all set. But no, they were good character designs, but not my thing.
Okay, let's go in the Wayback Machine a little bit, some earlier stuff. At some point, I know I saw something from Maze, but I don't remember anything about it.
I watched maybe an episode of that. I don't quite remember anything about it.
So it must not have stood out too much. Yeah. Yeah, Kakakat said, because when we were talking about Index, well, it's full of jokes and slice of humor too. It never stays serious for long.
Right. Speaking of not staying serious for long, XL Saga.
Now, see, I haven't seen XL Saga, but no, actually, I did see one episode of that on the New Type, but from the same maker, but I don't think it was JC Staff because I don't see it on here, but I did see Puni Puni Poemi.
Right.
Which, by the way, that OVA is banned in New Zealand.
New Zealand. Banned in New Zealand. That would be an interesting marketing pitch.
I remember. I just remember I just remember on the cover it said, "If you weren't offended by this anime, we haven't done our job."
Ha.
That was the tagline.
Well, I mean, another show this was popular. I actually never watched it. Read or Die.
I saw some of the OVA. Yeah. Oh, there's one here. I haven't seen this, but I should check this out. It's apparently 3 episodes. Starship Girl Yamamoto Yoko, and it's directed by Akiki Shinbo.
Ooh.
So
yeah, and that was from '99. So
yeah. Oh, all right. There's an OVA and a TV series. Okay, I get. That's why I see. Yeah, OVA then TV series. Yeah.
Speaking of OVAs, they did in 2001. They did one really probably one of my favorite OVAs still, Alien 9.
Oh, see, I haven't seen that, but I know a lot of people have and say it was really good.
It's really good. I would have liked if it went forward, because I read the manga. It's one of the few mangas I've finished, and the manga actually goes into backstory and all that. But the OVA is fantastic.
And it's 4 episodes. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I could.
And of course, they would immediately let you down by the next OVA they put out being Aiken.
Yeah. It's like
I was just laughing at
they've got their good and they got their bad.
If
it's the bell curve. You go from the extreme positive to all the way over here.
I could watch Aiken.
Which one is the outlier?
I could take Aiken if you don't take it seriously, like as a fetish thing, then yes, it's watchable. But there might be people who actually find some of these sizes.
I can't even.
I can't watch it without just cringing.
Even looking at it as like a funny thing, I can't even.
Nah, it's just unattractive.
It's just it's not even appealing in. It's not even appealing in like a comedic sort of sense. Like it's too much, literally too much.
Did anybody? Okay, I didn't. I must have like been sleeping when this thing came out. But they made a Parappa the Rapper anime.
Yes. Yes.
What fresh hell is that?
I actually saw a bit of it on YouTube. Yeah.
It's one of those things where you're looking at your list of stuff that they put out, and then that one just kind of jumps out, and you're like, wait, what the fuck? They
Parappa
did that?
Rappa.
Really now? Okay. I also remember Yori Aoshi. That being.
I heard about that, and I heard a lot about that, but I've never actually seen it.
Closer to when it came out, yeah. Wasn't it like a Tenchi Muyo kind of type show?
Sorta, kinda is the kind of.
Sorta, kinda.
Yeah, sorta, kinda Tenchi Muyo-esque is the kind of thing I got. Well, actually, sorta, kinda. Love Hina-esque is kind of the vibe.
See, that's gonna be the name of the episode. Sorta, kinda.
Sorta, kinda.
I
sorta, kinda relationships.
But like that's around that time. That's what I was hearing about. It was like it's comparing it to stuff like Love Hina, comparing it to stuff like Tenchi Muyo, less so.
Which show is this?
Yori Aoshi.
I heard good things about this, but it's also josei, so take it or leave it. Honey and Clover.
I've heard good things, but it doesn't look like my cup of tea. There are very, very few josei series I can say I actually enjoyed. Like I wouldn't, and it's not like I'd say they're bad. It's just they're not my cup of tea.
Well, another thing I liked OVA-wise, and again, going kind of in the Wayback Machine here, New Dominion Tank Police.
Yeah, although that's not the original one.
No, it's not.
Well, no, it's new.
Yeah. That was the 90s one. I liked the original one, the 80s one.
Oh, yeah. Well, sure.
I even love the dub music that they did.
I do like the dub opening for Tank Police.
Yes. Do you want Tank Police? Know your power that you got.
Yeah, well,
I know some people, but I don't care. It's because that was also one of those ones I saw on the Sci-Fi Channel in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, there's one here that I haven't seen, but I've kind of looks like something I would like. Maho Raba.
Yeah,
I've heard of that, and I always got it confused with Mabaraho.
Yeah,
I
same
know,
problem. Exactly, because they're because
let's just switch around the syllable.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where you hear it and it's like, wait, which one were we talking about?
I'd see it on a website and I'm like, did they spell it wrong? Did they make a mistake?
Was there a typo? Yeah. Or are they actually talking about the other show? The world may never know. So yeah, JC Staff does certainly go by the idea of not knowing when to kill off something too.
They also
Well, it's like I said, they might not really have a choice.
Maybe not. I mean, that's
well,
true.
yeah, that's usually is they don't get to choose their stuff the way it's not really like
someone says make this and they say okay, we like money, so
yeah, we like money.
But I also see him as the studio that's kind of like you kind of imagine that Kyoani passed on doing Little Busters, and so it's like we'll do it. JC Staff would be like we'll do it.
Well,
so
yeah.
I see him as the studio that's like they don't say no.
So many bad jokes could come from that.
Are you gonna? Okay, so Kyoani passes Little Busters, and Little Busters it's a major property. It's a key visual novel. So that whoever makes the anime for that is gonna make money if it's not awful. So are you gonna pass it or are you gonna take it if Kyoani doesn't want it? I mean, I'd take it.
Okay, well, here's my basically, I guess, I don't know if I want to say final thoughts, but basically my, what's the word I'm looking for here? The bottom line, I guess, with JC Staff, the fun stuff, the stuff that you enjoy watching, but they also have, like we were talking about, some of these just bell curve total and that unfortunately is kind of part of the reputation of stuff being done by committee that's bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would say that because it's just kind of, I don't want to say even inoffensive, but just like it, just kind of there.
It's like it's forgettable. It's just halfway,
it really is
sort of.
That's the way I looked at like when I haven't watched it, but that was like my reaction to when I saw it. La Storia della Arcana Famiglia.
Magellan?
Oh yeah.
Are you gelling?
The story of the Arcane family. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing that when it. Well, I remember seeing images of that when it came out and not watching that.
I love that you said I remember seeing images of that and not watching it.
It's like because it just didn't look appealing to me at all, and it's not knocking on the show. It just didn't catch me in any sort of way.
Right.
I haven't watched it. I don't know if it's good or bad. I just know that just wasn't something I was really looking at. And to be fair, neither was Joshiraku, and that one turned out to be amazing.
So that's the same exact reaction. I was like, let me see what this. Oh wait, JC Staff. But then I watched it. I was like, oh shit, this show.
That's sort of my point when I'm saying like I don't really like to subscribe to the whole brand loyalty thing, because all of these studios make some really good stuff, and all of these studios make some crap.
But like you said, it's hard to ignore patterns and stuff either.
Certainly. But it's just like
the reason why we sort of go on about stuff like Kyoani and Shaft is most of the time they do stuff that we really like.
It has a uniform quality to it.
That's another thing. JC Staff doesn't have a discernible style.
Which is why I'm saying, especially with JC Staff, they're so all over the place that it's kind of to a certain extent it's kind of unfair to look at it and say, oh, it's JC Staff. Let's give it a thumbs down, because you really don't know. It could be Joshiraku, Or it could
be Garze's wing.
It could be Garze's wing.
Somewhere Tomino's like writing us down in a black book. Fucking little bastards. But yes.
It could be Starship Operators. You ever watch Starship Operators?
No, is that
way?
That's something good.
Wow.
It's I went into that show pumped because I'm all about the space opera, the spaceships. Okay, we got the spaceship, we got the crew of the spaceship, and the premise was on point. And then I saw it. It wasn't very good.
That's not
that sort of thing. Like it's like the opposite of like the Scarlet Ammo, where the visuals were pretty good, but the way they handled the premise was awful. Because the premise is great for Starship Operators, but the visuals were awful.
What year is Starship Operators from?
Starship Operators was from 2005.
All right, because there's because I was thinking there was that thing that they did.
Speaking of
they didn't do it, but I kept getting confused with shit. What was that one? Starship Troopers OVA.
Yeah, no, they are worlds different.
Yeah.
Hey, but speaking of 2005, Loveless actually caused some irksome behavior. I remember.
I just remember fangirls.
Yeah, I remember specifically people freaking out about like some kind of I don't even know how to describe what I'm talking about here. Just like this weird. I think it was from the Anime Nation forums or something like that, where they were.
Oh, wasn't there like a rape or something?
Yeah, exactly, something like that.
Like an underage rape or something, and.
Oh.
Right, and then people were posting like pictures of the rape face and all this other stuff. Yeah, because on Anime Nation, I remember like some people like really freaking out about that.
Yeah, all I remember that show were fangirls, and I'm all about fangirls.
Of course you are. Well, yeah, that's why you cosplay. That's why you wear them. That's where you wear the mask. You don't do it for anonymity.
I don't do it for my health.
Right.
The fangirls.
There you go. Anyway, so yeah, JC Staff. It's kind of an interesting thing if you look at their body work as a whole. Kind of like we're just kind of looking through the list here. In the sense that the stuff in the middle just kind of really is just like part of the scenery or something.
As I said, it's most of there is like mediocre to okay.
The only things that really stand out, at least, certainly from them, are the things that were good or really, really bad.
Yeah.
Or in some cases, stuff that didn't make much in the way of sense, such as Gao Kaiser.
I think they gotta the audit. They gotta go focus on pure comedy or comedy ecchi.
Well, the thing is if you're the studio like JC Staff, you probably don't want to do that, like, because just like Anubis said, it's all over the place.
True, but I'm just saying they've had a better batting average with comedy than serious world building action stuff. Because there's some studios that could do the serious world building action. Sunrise knows how to do that.
Well, yeah,
that's why Reconquista is really good.
Madhouse does when they're not trying to do Marvel crossovers.
Well, if Sunrise didn't know how to do serious world-building action, we'd all be in trouble.
Yeah, because we would have to take SD Gundam seriously. But right. Again, I apologize. I actually am a little sick.
Yeah. All right, I think we can conclude.
Yeah, so before we go to the break, one show that you would absolutely positively recommend from JC Staff, one show that you would absolutely positively recommend people avoid from JC Staff. Go.
Okay, I would definitely, despite really loving Joshiraku, I wouldn't recommend that as the first thing. I would really go with Asmangadile.
I honestly was
not even necessarily as a first thing. Just recommend 2 people.
Okay, Asmangadile.
That's actually what I was going to say, but I'll pick something else since he did. Depending on what kind of thing you like, I mean, if you like harems and slice of life and all that kind of stuff, definitely go with Zero no Tsukaima. Again, assuming you don't have anything against tsunderes or.
If you know a bit about Japanese culture, I'm gonna be the one to recommend Joshiraku.
All right. Bad thing.
To avoid.
I would honestly say Sky Girls, just because I would be like, you know what? Watch Strike Witches. It's better. It's more interesting.
Okay. Thing to
and
avoid.
Not just for the obvious reasons. Not just for the, I mean, the fight. Yeah, the fight choreography is actually good, whereas it just wasn't there in Sky Girls. Like I don't remember much of Sky Girls. That's the other thing. I don't remember a lot. I remember a few things.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
What to avoid? The thing is I don't usually think in those terms. I don't think of what to avoid usually, unless it's like a heinous type thing that pops up and is real popular and obnoxious.
Could go for the low-hanging fruit and say Icon.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's we've complained about that in other episodes, so that should tell you about that. I haven't seen it, but I'm gonna guess Parappa the Rapper is probably bad. So I just off of it being a thing, I'm gonna suggest to stay away from it because I just now learned it was
just like a kids anime. Sort of type.
Then definitely stay away from it.
Like a young kids type of thing.
Okay. Avoid Starship Operators. That made me mad when I watched it.
Garzy's Wing, too, if you don't want to be like, Tomino, are you trolling us again?
Nah, I just like I just remember, what is it? You know what? I should rewatch that, but watch the dub, because I hear the dub is so bad it's hilarious. Because I watch it with the Japanese. The way that the people were just trying so hard and failing, the really Tomino-ish names.
Well, to be fair, you can't knock on anybody too hard for fucking those up.
Yeah.
Those was it? On the Gaba Juju. That was one of the things. I think that was like one of the creatures or something. Or
okay.
Gaba Juju.
On that note, we're up on the break. Keep it right here on NTR Radio.
That sounds like a fucking candy, doesn't it? Gaba
Juju. Yeah.
It's right. It's right next to the now and later
flavor. Now and raspberry flavor.
Right next to the now and laters and nerds.
Yeah. Gaba Choo Choo. That really sounds like a Japanese candy, like Gaba Choo Choo. Because I know there's like Haichu.
Yes.
And the way, like, because there's like black, because you can't have one thing's. You need to have the word repeat itself twice.
Yeah, I can't imagine that conversation coming across as normal. Hey, you want some black?
I'll be right back.
Roger.
I mean, and I just say that of any color that they do that with, it would just sound really strange. Would you like some black squared?
You want some green? No, I don't.
Oh, ouch. I prefer green bunny, thank you. So I managed to catch the flu from a family member.
There we go.
Awesome sauce. We need to continue discussing this idea of the private jet going around to various locales.
There's various locations. There's
we're going to Mount Rushmore. Why? Just because we can. Just like carve things and think NTR was here.
Who the fuck is sending me messages while I'm recording the podcast? There are 0 people I want to hear from who don't know I'm recording right now.
Well, maybe it was someone from... Hang on a sec, I'm getting... See if there's any comments here. Okay. Yeah. Well, 2/3 of the way through and I haven't tossed yet. That's good.
Fucking interrupting the special stage music too. Now I'm pissed. I like that song.
Since there's not a whole lot of sports anime that have combined the moe thing, not really.
Not really.
I'm surprised they haven't done one on golf.
I'm saying moe golf.
Okay.
Okay. 100 people surveyed. Top 5 answers on the board. Ways to get Time Enforcer noobs to watch an anime. Show me moe golf.
And there would be like the U.S. Open type equivalent.
Yeah.
Moe golf.
There'd be like in the background. There'd be like sabotage caddies pulling bullshit.
I hear there's a
sawgrass.
I hear there's a moe boxing that's a game.
I
saw it on Sankaku.
That would not.
I know that music. I know that. That's from
Yeah.
Shit. Yes. And I know that's the Stardust. That's the past level for Stardust
Speedway, yes. But that opening, literally one of the best tracks in the game, just because of that opening. I don't know who came up with having the friggin' the soulful black dude open this track, but they're probably one of the best composers in the industry, just for that opening.
Doink.
Jesus Christ. This is beautiful. This is both awesome, but
I was gonna make that joke when we were talking about JC Staff, if we were talking about like the Apostles, you know, because they talk about JC in the gang.
Yeah. Now there's this new combining Dan Cougar toy. It's gonna be over $300.
Ooh.
Now I have the Soul Chigoken. That came out in 2003.
I thought Cougars costed more than $300.
Ha!
Dan Cougar's a great show, if you ever. Even with the fucking Harlem episode though. I'm just saying, there was an episode of them in Harlem.
Okay, let me get the mail before I make a fool of myself here. There we go.
What are you doing?
What's great about that is I didn't even have to say anything.
Okay, ready on third segment.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
in 3, 2. Welcome back to NTR Radio. We have mail.
Incoming message.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen. We have 3 mails. I'm going to read the second one first, the third one second, and the first one third. Because the first one has a topic that might extrapolate itself into an entire like third segment micro topic.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say for a minute I was thinking, what are you just like in the mood to play like musical topics or?
Yeah, no, I'm not just mixing it up and confusing myself for no reason.
For the purposes of everyone's amusement.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, the first email comes to us from JohnGirl94.
Nice.
Hello, NTR Radio. For a while, I've been curious about the infamous anime called Aiken, because it's regarded as one of those shows that's so bad that even ecchi fans dislike it. As I've never seen it, I have a series of questions about it. And this is the part where I make a fool of myself. Do your tits hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them? That's disgusting. Can you throw them
over your shoulder like a continental soldier? Is that in the mail, or are you just doing that?
No, this is the email. Do your tits stretch wide? Do they reach from side to side? Can you use them as a parachute or wings? Do they cast a cooling shadow over most of Colorado? Are their tits too big? Are they heavy as a pig? Do they bruise the cerebellum when they dance an Irish jig? Can they function as the anchors for a fleet of oil tankers?
Oh, ouch.
Well, those are all the questions I have for now. Thank you for your time. That's the first email.
Okay, well, it really is bad.
Yeah.
The answer to all of those questions is yes.
You can watch it to just I've watched a lot of things out of biofascination though, so.
I'm trying to explain the degree to why it's bad.
Because it's trying to present itself as a fetish thing, but it comes off.
It's almost like
it's too big.
Well.
I love how
that's what it boils down. They're too big. It's what it boils down.
The character has the biggest ones.
It's basically kind of like almost like a South Park type gag where it's just like a thing of tits walking around talking and doing shit.
Yeah.
Like, but they don't even look good. They're like really like smashed zucchini, kind of like I don't know, with silly putty or something over them. It does not look pleasant to look at.
All right, next email. So this one again from JohnGirl94. Hello again, NTR Radio. I have a more serious question this time. When you guys watch anime subtitled, do you prefer the subs to have a literal or liberal translation? Literal meaning keeps honorifics, cultural references, name order, etc., while liberal meaning taking out honorifics, localizing references, etc. Personally, I prefer the subs to be translated literally because I prefer having a translation that is as close to the original as possible. But I want to know your opinions.
Literal.
Again, thank you for your time.
I say literal.
Yeah, mostly because when people try to localize stuff, they get kind of goofy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, literal for 2 reasons. One, because when we're talking about liberal translations, really the possibilities are endless, and you could end up with something that's sort of close to the source material, or you can end up with something that's wildly different from the source material.
Or you could end up with Nem Diggers.
Or you can end up with Nem Diggers.
There you go.
But yeah,
somebody's having like a wait what moment.
And the second reason is because it, to a certain extent, when I watch anime, I'm watching it
as a Japanese.
Because it's a Japanese thing, and I'm watching it as a Japanese thing, and as a result, I want to have some perspective as to the the language and how they use honorifics and how it all works and all their culture and stuff.
I will say that I don't really mind if they don't add like the honorifics actually written down so much. I mean,
I don't know. For me, it kind of, for me, it sort of creates a dissonance between what I'm reading and what I'm hearing. So
right.
If I hear a friggin' Takanashi Hara-san, I kind of want to see that Takanashi Hara-san on the bottom there.
Well, that's a good point, I suppose.
Yeah, it's more a personal thing, but to me, it sort of makes sense that way. The third email is coming to us from Jekyll Geek. All right, I'm going to switch this one up too. Ready? We are going to answer the first question first, the second question fourth, the third question second, and the fourth question third.
My mind is full of fuck.
You'll see why. From Jekyll Geek.
Incoming message.
Hello once again, NTR Radio pals. I have some comments for you guys. 1. I remember someone saying something about watching Nanoha. It's probably me. From my experience of seeing both, if you have seen the movies, you don't really need to see the first two television series.
Yeah, that was me.
That was you. Okay.
Yeah,
I also need to watch Nanoha. But, yeah, since they were practically the same story. Skipping 2 for now. 3. On the topic of ecchi, I was wondering how should a reviewer decide good from bad in this field?
Well, we've already used Aiken as a...
if it's not Aiken, you're already on your way.
You're already at least past the F mark, probably.
Does it do... Like, Aiken... Like, you've heard, there's, like, fetish fuel and fetish retardant.
Well,
Aiken is, like, fetish retardant, and does it provide does it do what it's supposed to do correctly? Like, a great example is Kiss Sis, or even more recent example is Kofuku Graffiti.
Here's my barometer. Is it tasteful? Tasteful is the key word, because you can have something like, Aiken, or you can have something like Kiss Sis.
I have to interject.
Even like Hatsukori Limited.
I have to interject and point out that this is probably the only time you will ever hear Kiss X Sis being referred to as tasteful.
I think it's tasteful.
Tasteful.
Yes, tasteful as opposed to vulgar is what I'm looking for. Because something like Manyu Hikenchoi, that's vulgar.
Tasteful as in like strawberries.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Does it like? Yeah.
Well, it's like it has to okay. Here's my criteria for ecchi. The art has to be good. The animation has to be good.
Yes.
And it has to depict something that's tasteful. Like the butts in Strike Witches. Tasteful. It's not like oh, okay, ass, and it's just wobbling everywhere. And it's tasteful.
Some people are canceling the subscription for that. They're just like, nope.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Are there any anime where the ass just wobbles?
I hope not.
It's like some kind of failed Jane Fonda workout video.
I hope not.
And then
the animated series. I hope not.
And then it could have the You know, like the jiggle counter. Well, the twerking counter.
I know an anime that has ass jiggling. Me. That
Yes.
music video.
Yes.
And that's vulgar. But it's still good. It can't, like, it's, because it's not trying to be an ecchi series. It's not trying to be that kind of thing. It's deliberately vulgar. But when you want to see an example of what I consider vulgar, that scene where everything turns red and they're all naked, that scene, that's what I consider vulgar.
Well, now
when
that
it's like when it's in your face and it's just real big, loud, and ostentatious, that's vulgar to me, and that's what doesn't work in an ecchi series.
Now, see, some people say it's also a subjective thing because some people consider like Mayoi being groped in the Monogatari being kind of distasteful.
Is that ecchi though? I don't think it's ecchi.
The show itself is intent. No, not really.
The show, as far as the specific Mayoi thing, there's nothing ecchi about that. It's just Araragi being a pervert.
Yeah, but it's still played for like fan service.
Certainly, but it's not ecchi.
There is a level of
Araragi opens the door and Kambaru's just on a sheet on a bunch of books in a room full of bunch of books, naked, and it's on her back and the camera's on her back and it's like all these lines, all the curve of her back and all that. That's tasteful. That's what I'm talking about.
I was going to point out that there is certainly a level of subjectivity here because
certainly.
Because, not everybody likes the same kind of stuff. So something that would be, I don't know, vulgar to us is more, they're more receptive to it or something, or vice versa.
Certainly, but that's part of just being a critic. And when we're talking about, okay, this is ecchi, this is vulgar, it's all about how you I'm forgetting the word. Articulate that. How you articulate it.
Yeah.
Because you can say, "Oh, this is tasteful. This is vulgar," but that's just a raw opinion without being qualified and articulated.
Any context or why or.
Because some people, and of course, some people consider this scene in Asarate Toy with the girl wearing the sling dress.
Well, to be fair, they probably complain about everything else too.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. There's people that.
So it's not like it's isolated or anything.
They just don't like ecchi. And
there you go.
That's fine, but then don't try and be the judge of ecchi.
Or ecchi for lolicon.
Right. All right, number 4. After thinking about it a little more, I will say that VZ Mark II is the Tirami of the anime community. Muffle and Macaron suit T.E. Anubis and K-Gods better.
Oh yeah, I'm the pink cat.
Yeah. Of course I'm Muffle.
Yeah, because I'm the pervert. I thought I was more like the Triceratops. See, I always saw myself more like the Triceratops.
The Triceratops character could definitely suit you.
Yeah.
Alright, and now we're going back to number 2. For the eternal question of concerned white people, I found this video to explain the whole Japan birth rate thing the best. And he links to a YouTube video from, I believe it is game theorists, of one of them called Gaijin Goomba. And Gaijin Goomba is the guy who made the video that got me writing the first article I wrote on 2D relationships. And he's talking about how like dating sims are basically trying to explain the prevalence of dating sims in Japan.
Right.
And I think he's completely wrong.
What's some of the shit that he said in it?
So he's saying, okay, so, and he introduces like, but introduces himself like, okay, I'm not like the guy. I usually like go off on all these dating sims, all these synthetic relationships, and they're awful and all that. But he goes on talking about how he bought the 3D custom girl, and how that seeing like how the character is happy when you open the program and sad when you leave, kind of looked at, kind of like turned on in his brain that maybe this isn't all just sex, maybe this is people looking for an emotional connection. And so and then he goes into all this thing about how the work culture in Japan is such that you go into work and you work like 10 hours and you're expected to go and drink with all your work people buddies, and none of the guys have time for a girlfriend. And it doesn't mention how any fault the women might have about this. Doesn't mention how the people who play these games in the first place are victims of social ostracism. It doesn't mention how any of that stuff that might possibly lead to, hey, maybe the dating culture in Japan is kind of fucked up. Maybe the entire interaction between the sexes in Japan is kind of fucked up, and blames it all on, the work culture is bad.
I will say that definitely does play into some of it, though.
Absolutely, but where is all the other causes? Where's the women not just completely shunning all these guys who have, there's nothing really wrong with them. They're a bit socially awkward, but
they're not a doctor or lawyer.
Exactly. How the fuck do you expect people to integrate into society if you're gonna ostracize them for what they like to do in their spare time? And that's why these
six-figure salary.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why people are turning to these Love Plus and all that, because number one, they can't find a girlfriend. Number two, what worth is it anyway? Why we're not seeing why the birth rate's falling so precipitously? Why we're not seeing people get married? Because it's fucking too expensive. You need the salary of 2 people to maintain a house and raise a child, but who's gonna raise the child if both parents are working?
Well, now that you're bringing that up, though, it also goes into the just like you said. Totally had a brain fart. Something about something you said about remember in the video when there was every couple months there's some stupid video for some idiot people that have no idea what they're talking about regarding these birth rates.
Oh, yeah. like the young when I link of the Young Turks thing.
Right, and it's completely ignoring
Gaijin Goomba is fucking Vice and all these internet media people.
Oh yeah, Vice.
But it completely ignores that if you look at all the first world nations that don't have an open immigration policy, they're all falling.
Germany,
Norway. I mean, it doesn't matter. Okay, I mean, just the only reason ours isn't falling is because, well, we have a pretty open immigration policy going on.
It's like, when is someone gonna look at this situation and look at it and say, okay, there are a bunch of causes, and we need to figure out what's causing all of these various factors that are feeding into this problem, and we need to find out what's underlying all those factors and actually get at that, instead of trying to pick at each and one of these symptoms. Oh, God, the guys are choosing the Love Plus girlfriends over real girls. Oh, the work culture. Fuck, that's really what kind of just the work culture is the reason that these guys.
Because we have some pretty crappy ones over here too.
The work culture in the U.S. is pretty awful. Let's be real.
I also don't want to hear the excuse that their industry is just feeding into.
Well, no. Here's the thing.
Well, here's the thing. What else is that industry gonna do? Hey, they're making money. Capitalism.
There's a market for it, and they're responding to the market.
There's a market, and if this wasn't an issue, if Homeboy was able to friggin' talk to girls and get a date, there probably wouldn't be as big a market for it as there is.
Well, here's the other thing: is there was a Japanese guy actually responded to one of these videos. I remember.
Yep.
In response, was saying like, "This is all fucking wrong."
Yep.
Oh yeah, I told you.
And he basically said the reason people here don't have a girlfriend is because they can't afford it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What is it? I saw that on a Young Turks thing, and the Japanese guy was like responding. He's like, because the girls here are only interested in like nail art and whatever, and it's like, basically saying that they're not interesting.
And watching the video that Joko Geek sent us, it's like, for a second I thought that Gaijin Guma had kind of turned around, because he's always been anti-otaku, and he's always been anti-moe, and he's always been against all this like the fictional relationships and all that, because he's one of those people who's like, oh, I hate moe because I've seen what it does to people, like it's crack. Like it's fucking crystal meth. Like you see the before and after picture.
So we're gonna have posters.
Like before, this is me before Moe, and this is me after Moe. He's got
missing teeth, and
so we're gonna have.
He's got like a chunk of his head missing or something like that.
Part of his nose looks like it's been bitten off by a rat.
Guys, are we gonna have billboards when driving down and saying like Moe, not even once?
Not even once.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just shows like Yui or something like that.
Yeah, he's one of these. He's one of those guys.
Want the after picture?
Yeah, exactly.
So the after picture will be some guy like. Have you ever seen those pictures, like on like Time magazine or any of those like big, publications like that, where somebody's like got the TV glaring in their eyes, like it's like you could see the reflection in the eyes of the TV.
Yeah.
Like, because it's a close up. It's like that, but in his eyes you could see like like an anime girl bent over a figure or something.
Yeah.
Like and they got like drool and just like this completely zoned out look on their face, just like like a zombie.
Yeah, that's pretty much me.
Like so the guy's lived in Japan, and first of all, for a guy who's lived in Japan, he is remarkably misinformed as to what moe is.
Oh, what does he think, Mo? All right, I want to hear this. What does he think moe is?
So his whole thing about moe is like, is basically his focus is on the synthetic relationships part. So he's like, oh, he's lived in Japan, and he went through like a dark time where he indulged in all this stuff, but now he's better. So now he gets to be self-righteous and say, oh, I've seen what this does to people. That's why it's bad.
So what? Are we gonna have like intervention?
Yeah, moe interventions now.
We saw you browsing through and almost picked up a Hagenai Blu-ray. We're gonna have to
contraband check.
We're your friends.
Contraband check. What's this? And it says like Comic LO. Contraband check. What's this? Is this a Comic LO? Is this a Megami magazine?
This is a Class A narcotic.
You guys are freaking nuts.
Me selling more figures. I'm like a drug dealer now.
Yeah. There's like these clandestine meeting places like out in alleys where people just are out there with like their big coats and
Oh wait.
They open it and it's like, hey, you got the stuff, man. And it's like, and they're just figures.
And he has a little trading figure. He has like, hey, you want a little moe?
Yeah, he's like, you want some figures? I got Pokemon cards. What you want? like a dealer, just like.
And then we'll have the very 80s, 90s style partnership for a drug-free America type of
PSA.
Yes.
Like a dare program.
And then we'll have
Dare.
Just say no to Moe.
And then we'll take Saturday morning cartoons. Oh wait, there aren't any anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll have them all together and do the most overdone PSA ever. And
Stop dreaming about fucking your imaginary characters.
We're gonna have to get on a 12-step program, so I'll never watch Moe anime again.
Yeah, like it's one of those, like, you see the guy, like he's a little haggard. It looks like he hasn't had his coffee yet, and he's like at like a Malibu like Sunset Beach kind of like resort, like saying, you know, I had to get help. I was spending hundreds of dollars on figures.
I relapsed. I just had to have this figure. I relapsed. I had to have this figure.
It's like
stand up and say, "My name's Timon Forrester Anubis, and I watch K-On!"
Yeah, and it's like, they've banned me from Hobby Link Japan.
And my waifu is Mayoi.
They've put blockers on my internets.
But yeah, it's all this, and he's been doing this for a while. I haven't enjoyed. I haven't really. I don't. Okay. I haven't really agreed with him since I watched that first video that had me writing the 2D relationships post, and it was all like, okay, he doesn't like the 2D relationships because he thinks that, oh well, people aren't getting out there and interacting with real people, even though real people won't interact with them, but that's fine. So we're gonna treat this all like it's really weird, even though it's really not. There's a group of causes to it that nobody's inspecting, but let's just treat the symptoms like they're causes because that's easier. He did this video railing against Hatsune Miku. Really hates Hatsune Miku because she's a moe character. She's created to.
She's also Onahole.
She's a moe character. She's created for people to become endeared to and connected to.
So she's like the Joe Camel. She's like Joe Camel.
Like the Joe Camel of moe.
Are they? I can just see, like, you know, we can't be put into. We need to have legal action against this.
We need to legislate legal actions so we can never put moe characters up on billboards again because it gets people addicted to it and ruins them, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. And then, yeah, you know, it has, like, the little time switch, like, 5 years later. Like where, like, you know, the little clocks. You've seen the thing where the clock moves and then it, like, you know, the little subtitle pops up 5 years or 5 to 10, however long years later, and then like somebody's like pretty much living in a box, like, you know, like using internet cafes to get their fix, you know.
But in
guys breaking into a hobby hobby store to get his like.
It's like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, give me all my figures now.
There's have you seen this man posters outside of like KB Toys and shit?
It's like freaking Akihabara's like Detroit.
I hope not. For a couple of reasons.
Years after moe is outlawed, Akihabara is like it's all like the crack houses and the druggies, except instead of drugs, it's moe. They're out there stealing stuff from all the shops.
Yeah, after the car industry failed, you know, that's Detroit, you know.
No, it is his whole thing for at least as far as I understand, and really I don't watch much of his videos, and most of my experience with him has been him being anti-moe and anti-otaku, which sours me on him. But it's like he did one of these videos where he kind of deconstruct me, and how the whole thing's supposed to be an anti-otaku thing, which I don't believe, but sure, go on. And he's like, toward the tail end, it's like, I hate moe, and I'm like, okay, dude.
It's like, do you want a cookie?
Yeah, all right. Do you go on?
You know, yeah, exactly. You know, I'm sure Little Caesars will care. You know,
I'm positive. I'm positive you think you're doing a great thing by shitting on other people's tastes and shitting on other people's preferences because it personally ruined you, and that's fine. That's cool in the gang, and kudos for friggin' getting up and pulling yourself out of that, but it's not gonna ruin everyone who encounters it. Not everyone is so weak that they see Moe and that then 2 weeks later they're a friggin' degenerate out on the street not everyone looks at
selling blood to buy shit.
Yeah, not everyone looks at K-On! And is like, okay, and 2 hours later they can't interact with human beings.
Yeah. It's like I saw K-On! and then I was, then I was homestuck. Quite literally, I couldn't leave my house.
But yeah, that's my beef.
But yeah, we come across those people every once in a while, and it's always really strange to me because, for one, the people who like that stuff over here aren't really the same as the ones who like the stuff over there. It's just simply not the same scenario or living conditions. I mean, really. I mean, let's be honest here.
I'm only liking it by proxy. There's stuff.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is you're not really near to the epicenter of where this stuff is being made.
And sometimes I can only consume through its ascendancy means. Like, I'm a big fan of Idolmaster, but I never played the games. I had to, consume it through the anime.
One of the things that really seems to underlie a lot of this stuff, and tell me if I'm wrong here, but I'm just kind of surveying your opinions on this. But is it just me that seems like all these individuals that make these kind of arguments all hate the concept of capitalism?
A lot of them do. They hate the concept of the capitalism, but also like consumerism.
That's what I mean, basically.
A lot of them do. A lot of them are really are very.
They're very socialist, kind of,
Yeah, they're very Marxist almost.
To a certain extent, I feel like the only reason they hate it is because it doesn't work in their favor.
Well, yeah. There's that too.
When it does, you don't see them complaining.
Oh no, but I'm serious. Even ignoring completely anime and all that, but like if you look at their opinions on other things, you start to see this weird, high art kind of, anime should be, it should grow up and be this high art kind of thing.
That also, tells a lesson about,
fuck
a social,
that.
Tells a social.
Yeah. These are the same people that want to play Braid. And it's like, fuck you people. I want to play Contra.
Mm-hmm. Nah, I thought these types like playing Gone Home or whatever.
Yeah, non-games. The non-games. They play Depression Quest,
Yeah.
And they really feel the struggle, despite the fact that they're rich white people that own a yacht.
Hipsters in a nutshell.
Yeah, exactly.
Hipsterism in a nutshell. I'm rich, but I'm gonna pretend I'm poor.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I understand the struggle. No, you fucking don't. No, you don't. You have Wi-Fi. Come on.
You have also a lot of them
really
have
good point.
Also, a lot of them have Macs. I do too, but I don't use it as a.
Yeah. But the thing is, though,
you don't use it as a status symbol.
Not only that, but you don't pretend that you're part of the downtrodden, that have been, maligned somehow. Plus, you're white, so then, that means you're worse.
It means you're bad.
Yeah, it means you're Hitler.
Even though a lot of these people are white too.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. That they're like upper
But
class.
I thought there were some sort of other kin that.
Some of them claim to be part toaster.
They can't use. You can't use he or she.
Oh yeah, you got to start using J and all this other fucking shit.
Or whatever. Zay.
You gotta break down the gender binary.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is fine, but don't go crazy on it.
Well, yeah, it's like choose your gender, and then like 5,000 pop up.
Yeah.
This is like, okay.
You gotta live in reality. Even me, Mr. Moe Me, has to live in reality.
Well, imagine if there was a bathroom for every one of these genders.
Oh, what was it? Encyclopedia Jamaga put up like one of those fun, a thing about all this, and it had like, the standard, male and female symbol, but then they had the whole bunch of crazy other ones that.
Was it just like a mishmash collage of other signs and shit?
Yes.
That's actually pretty good. Yeah. And people make fun of this stuff, and that's why, though.
There's a reason it's made fun of.
Because it's not practical. There's just no way for that really to work at large. It's fun to pretend.
It's fun to pretend.
I like to pretend I was going to be in space when I was a kid. I'm not going to, but for a little while I thought I would. It's I don't know. And the reason I think we're seeing a lot of this stuff coming from upper class, well-to-do people is because quite frankly they're fucking bored.
Yeah, they're bored and
they don't have any real problems.
Yeah, have no adversity to speak of, so they make stuff up.
Either that, or they try to advance.
It's more.
No. Advance that, or advance other causes they're not actually a part of.
But it's also the guilt of being upper class, so they like overcompensate.
Let me tell you one thing. If I was rich as hell, there's not a single thing I would be guilty about.
Oh, I know, but that would be because you. But I'm just saying, like,
because you're a POC.
If these people, it doesn't mean if these people are guilty about being rich, they can give me their money.
Yeah, they won't to me because I'm a honky, but
yeah. Even though some of these, a lot of these have like Patreons and all that. But give me money. I gotta do my stupid documentary.
I don't want to work. I just want to whine all day.
Implying these people are even making documentaries.
Yeah, Kickstarter. How much money do you need to make a documentary, really?
Ask the Blair Witch Project people.
Huh.
I don't think you really need that much.
That's my point. By the way, I know this is tangential, but I gotta point this out. Those people were brilliant, by the way. Now, I have no interest in it, or even really in the subject matter, but here's why they were brilliant. It was a brilliant concept of marketing.
Oh, yeah.
Because how much money did they end up using to film that?
Very little, but they...
Right, and didn't they, like, borrow it? Like, in the equipment, wasn't it like the school's AV equipment or something?
I don't know.
I don't remember. But in any case, it was one of those things where it made millions. Just purely off of the way they marketed it.
That's called profit margin.
Yeah, I mean, like, they were laughing all the way to the bank on that one. I think the most brilliant thing they did, again, obviously this is the third segment, so it has nothing to do with anime.
Yeah.
The most interesting thing they did was the supposed leaking of footage.
Oh yeah.
Like hey, there's this little parts that were kind of dispersing strategically. Which was all done calculated. Again, it reminds me. Recently, the only kind of brilliant marketing I can think of, and that kind of mentality is what Charlie Sheen did. But that was more of a stunt, I guess, more than marketing. But it worked really well, because people were talking about him the entire time. And notice he has a show now.
Yep.
Even after he got booted off the other one.
It worked.
It totally did. And plus, we got a bunch of funny memes and bad slogans out of it, like
everyone wins.
Tiger blood, Yeah, winning. Yeah.
In any case, that's the show.
I need cold medicine.
The email address is ntrradio@gmail.com. The website is she'slost.control.net/podcast. Check out Otaku Midnight, the other podcast on She's Lost Control Media, because they're really good. Check out vzmk2moemekagatai.wordpress.com. That's where VZ posts his stuff. Check out dakiwash.com. That's where K-Gods posts his stuff.
I'm supposed to, anyway. I'm
working on it.
No, it's not even that.
Working on it.
It's not even that. There's just been a lot of stuff, and I probably won't realistically get back to working on it until March.
He's not working on it.
Yeah, that's how I'm gonna promote it. I'm not working on it. That's gonna be
that should be your tagline.
Yeah, that's gonna be the little tagline that pops up in the browser.
But do the not in the Evangelion.
Yeah.
I am not working on it.
Yes. And it should be I am not working 2.22.
Yeah, or even better, just have some random fucking numbers that don't make sense.
2.875 sigma.
Or no, just put pi.
Sigma, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I'm Tom Forster Nubis.
I'm K-Gods.
A VZ Mark II.
Even though we get addicted to Moe every time we say it, this is NTR Radio.
Give me the Moe! I need it now!